Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the new Marvel Legends Captain Who Gives a Shit. No, really, his name is SPYMASTER, and I can't imagine anybody wanting to buy this figure. Now, here's the thing I've found. A lot of characters, no matter how obscure and overall irrelevant they are to the fiction of either Marvel or DC, you're gonna find some people who absolutely love the character, and I'm very curious if those people exist for this guy. I've always assumed nobody likes him, but here we have a figure of him, so somebody has to. So in the comment section below, let me know if you give a shit about this guy. Now, whether you do or not, it's kind of irrelevant for the figure review itself. I just thought I'd mix that in for a little bit of color, but this guy is, it's one of the worst figures they've made. Again, it's on a Bucky Cap mold, which is fine, but everything else is fairly bad about that. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands, not surprisingly, about 16.5 centimeters, which makes him pretty close to 6.5 inches. And I know what you're gonna say, we've seen a million Bucky Cap molds, and it's true, we have. It's way overused. However, it is still their best overall mold, anatomically speaking. You can just see he's got those nice superhero proportions for an average build. Good sculpture overall, and it has sufficient articulation, so it is unfortunate. I agree 100% with everyone who thinks that they use this too much. It's true. However, at least it's a good decision because most of their other molds aren't as good as this one. So I don't have a problem with it being Bucky Cap. What I do have a problem with is that right across his chest you have this blue to yellow transition, and it looks rough. It is really bad, and I can't imagine that there's going to be a very wide variety of different levels of quality, let's say. I'm guessing most of them are going to be this rough. It is terrible looking, especially on this side for me. I do tend to get bad versions, but you never know. This logo here is okay. It's not great. The face is okay. There's a little bit of blue on there. That's fine. But that's it. And so that's my point, is what is there? It's minimal, and it's not done well. They did paint the blue on the arms, and there's lots of yellow poking through. You know, it's a very basic design, and that's fine, but they didn't do anything to make it worthwhile. It just looks like a dollar store toy. Now, obviously, it has more articulation than a dollar store toy, and we do get an accessory. We'll talk about that, but aesthetically speaking, this is not going to impress anyone. No one's gonna look at that and be like, wow, that's a nice collectible. It's not. It's just as bland and poorly executed as can be, because what's there is not well done. So yeah, very unfortunate. Aesthetically speaking, I'll give it a 5, I guess. The face is clean. The face is particularly clean, but right across the chest does not look good. And even the S logo right here is not very good either. So yeah, definitely a bummer. Now, as far as accessories go, apparently this gun is the one that's in fashion. I'm surprised we didn't get any bubble effects to go with him. We get this red gun that we had from Jan Rog, and then we saw it again on Crossbones for whatever reason. So now we get it for this guy. It's solid bright red, which, I mean, that's fairly accurate, so that's fine, but it's still a goofy looking gun. But it's SPYMASTER, so who cares? So 5 out of 10 for accessories. All right, now as far as articulation goes, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this articulation before, but we'll run it again. The head still sits nicely on this body. They haven't messed that up, so that is good. He can look up, he can look down, he can look side to side, no problem. A little bit of attitude, just a touch. Oh man, it isn't that clean after all. I just noticed over here he's got a big derp going on. It's a big derp on both sides. Is that intentional? I don't think it is. I think it's just a derp. So yeah, I take it back. His face, this part of the face is done really well. Those eyes are clean for Hasbro. Anyway, full rotation here and then here, and oh god, there's yellow just pouring out of his armpit. Wash your clothes, man. So biceps, well, everything's, you know, it's pretty much the same as always. No, there's really no need to even go over it, but I'll do it for those of you who somehow missed this mold in the past. Functional. Floaty belt is functional. Does it come off? I always get people asking if the belts come off. I usually check. This one doesn't appear to without modification. That's the other thing. Pretty much anything's removable with the right amount of effort and willingness, if you know what I mean. So, you know, it's still a decent batch of articulation. Nothing special, but all in all, it is very solid. So, it's the same mold as always on a very bland figure with poor execution for the detail parts that are there. So, articulation-wise, we'll give it a 7. I just can't imagine anybody wanting to buy this unless they have some crazy desire to own a SPYMASTER figure. And even then, you're not going to be satisfied with it because it's not very good. It looks really, really cheap. So Yeah, it's one of those cases where I guess technically it might technically be worth the 20 bucks, but it's really not worth owning. You know what I mean? Do you guys get it when I say that? Like, I can't imagine anybody being satisfied with this, unless they're just a little kid that wants something to bash around in the bathtub, which is fine. But for an adult, this is just not going to do it for you, if you have any sort of standards, really. So there you go. I'll give you, my final verdict is going to be a 6. There's some okayness to it, especially since it's on a decent body, but it's just a big fat blah. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, well, that's a shame, but give it a thumbs down. That's okay too. And if you haven't subscribed, you should, because I have thousands of videos on the channel. I have thousands of videos on the channel for all those days I don't upload, but I do upload almost every single day. So make sure you come back for that. Don't forget to check out the channel. And in the meantime, keep collecting.